Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Shavasana and today's Yin Yoga class is all about your low back. So if you're experiencing low back pain or maybe you're having a sciatic flare-up, this class will be of great benefit to you. So our bones, tendons, ligaments, joints, all of those are yin-like in nature. Those are yin, they're yin-like in nature. So they enjoy long static holds and compressive stress. And compressive stress is great because it keeps our joints healthy, strong, and it avoids degeneration over time. So if you are doing nothing, that's also problematic. But if you're doing too much, that's also problematic. So you really need to find a nice balance for yourself, because you are your own guru. You know your body better than anybody else. You need to know the balance between too much and not doing anything at all. So my advice to you when we go through this class is to really think about all those micro sensations that are coming up when we're in the poses. Obviously, if you're feeling pain, that is your cue to come out of the pose and maybe take a modification. You should never be feeling any pinching sensation, but you should be feeling slight compression in your low back. And that's all I have to say before we get started. So you will need a pillow, a bolster, or a block. It's totally up to you which one you end up deciding to use. So our first posture that we're going to get started with has to do with the breath. So we are going to be tractioning the back and using breath to open up space in that area. So grab your pillow, your block, or your bolster. A bolster actually might be too thick for this first posture, but go with what works best for you. I'm going to take my pillow and I'm going to place it just under my pelvis, just on my pelvis, like this. And then what I'm going to do is extend my arms and extend my legs and drop my head. So right here, I'm feeling tractioning. I'm feeling like a separation between my upper and lower back. And just readjust as needed. And while you lay here, you're just breathing nice and deep. So you may be feeling sensations in the legs, and that should subside. His way to think about it is imagining there's a balloon between each vertebra in your spine, and on every inhale, that balloon expands, making space. And deflates on the exhale. We'll take about just 2 more breaths here. go ahead and remove the pillow or the bolster. Just come to lay on your belly. All right, so we'll go ahead and begin with our first posture, which will be Sphinx. So bringing your elbows in line with your shoulders. This might feel just a little bit uncomfortable, so you can turn them away slightly. And then if you want more sensation, then you would bring your legs wider. If you want more of a balance in the release in the spine, you bring your legs closer together. So choosing which one works best for you. Drawing the shoulders away from the ears and down the back. And making sure your hip points are on the floor. So if being up here is too much strain for you, then maybe you can grab a hold of opposite elbows, or maybe you're simply here, or maybe this is enough. So closing the eyes here. Again, coming back to that balloon analogy that I mentioned, where there's a balloon between each vertebra and the spine, and it expands on every inhale and deflates on the exhale. Notice if you're beginning to sink in the shoulder girdle, coming up and out. Last few breaths here. We're just going to lower all the way down. And you're going to draw the right knee. So you're going to roll onto your left hip and draw your right knee up. So your right knee is now in line with your right hip. And maybe you stay here. Maybe this is enough. We're going to come back here. Let's take our last 2 breaths on this side. Nice big inhale. And sigh it out. One more inhale. And gently exhale. We'll first lower the chest, lower the head. Stay here just for a moment. And when you're ready, bringing that right leg down to meet the left. So after stress, it's always important to rest. So finding a few moments here. Again, listening to all those micro sensations. So let's lift the gaze here. You're going to roll to your right hip this time and bend your left knee. So your left knee is now in line with your left hip and then coming right back up. So again, nice and relaxed. Feeling nice and heavy below the waist. Two breaths here. Nice big inhale. And sigh it out. One more inhale. And exhale. So again, coming back down onto your forearms if you weren't already there. Bringing the chest to the floor, forehead to the palms. And when you're ready, just draw that left knee down to meet the right. So let's go ahead and lift the gaze. From here, we'll be making our way into seal, and seal is quite intense. The compression that you're going to feel in your lower back is a lot more intense. So I'm just going to offer some modifications. We'll be doing 2 rounds of 1 minute. So in seal, you bring your fingertips wide, you push to the corners of your mat, push into the palms, and lift your chest with straight arms. And then it's up to you how close or how far you walk in your palms, right? Depending on the stress that you're feeling in your low back. You just don't want to be feeling any pain or pinching. That's your cue to come out. Otherwise, your second option is to take 2 blocks, elevate your forearms on them, and take an elevated Sphinx pose. Just if the seal posture is not accessible for you. So the choice is yours. Go ahead and find your elevated Sphinx or finding your seal pose here. Nice deep breaths. It's okay if you draw the shoulders up a little bit. So we are going to be doing 2 holds, 1 minute each. So let's go ahead and gently lower all the way back down. Stack palm on palm. Taking a rest. We'll prepare for round 2. So coming up, finding your elevated Sphinx pose on the blocks or finding your seal pose. Last couple of breaths here. Let's take our last 2 breaths. Nice big inhale. Really feel the breath come all the way up underneath the armpits. And exhale. One more inhale. And exhale. Coming all the way down to the mat. Stack palm on palm. And take a rest. Again, bring your awareness inside and notice the details. The details of those sensations. Gently shimmy the hips from side to side. Maybe you bend the knees and very gently windshield washer the knees and the legs. From here, we'll be making our way onto our backs. So from here, we'll be making our way into a wind relieving posture followed by a twist. And twists are really great to invite equilibrium and balance back into the back body and into the spine. So go ahead and extend the left leg straight and bend the right knee in towards the chest. Inhaling here. And every exhale, thinking about drawing the knee in towards the chest. Feeling a nice opening through the left hip flexor. Last few breaths here before we transition. being mindful you're not drawing your knee too far into your armpit. Let's go ahead here and transition into our twist. You'll take your left hand to the outside of your right knee and draw your right knee all the way over to the left. Ooh, felt my back crack. So if your knee doesn't come to the floor, you can always straighten that if that feels more comfortable. Place a block underneath the knee. Totally up to you. And you can cactus your right arm. Thinking about drawing your right hip towards your left foot. So trying to open the gap between your rib cage and your hip. Last few breaths here. Noticing how far you've come in this twist. Let's take our last two breaths here. Nice big inhale, spiraling the breath up the spine. And exhale, release. One more time, inhale. And exhale. So bring the gaze back to the ceiling if it's not already there. Remove the hand if the leg was straight. Bend it again and very gently rolling back onto your back. Set the right foot down and bring the left knee to meet it. Just bring your hands on your hips, knees to touch, feet as wide as the mat. Let's go ahead and very gently windshield wiper the knees from side to side. And we'll prepare for the other side. So extending now the right leg straight, bending the left knee in towards the chest. Inhaling here. And every exhale, thinking about drawing the knee in towards the chest. Few more breaths here before we transition into our twist. So let's go ahead from here. You're going to take your right hand this time to the outside of the left knee. Extend the left arm out to the side and draw the right knee over towards, and draw the left knee over towards the right. You can always cactus that arm. Again, thinking about spiraling the breath up and down the spine. Again, thinking about making space between the left hip and the rib cage. So drawing your left hip down towards your foot, your right foot. last few breaths here. Let's take our last 2 breaths. A nice big inhale. Really fill up. And exhale. Last one, inhale. And exhale, release. Bring the gaze back towards the ceiling if it wasn't there already. Removing the hand. Rolling back onto your back. Bend both knees. Bring the soles of the feet to the floor. Feet wide, knees knock in, and just allow the hands to rest on the belly. So feeling your hands move away from the belly with every inhale. So for our Shavasana today, you have the option to use your blocks or your bolster for this. I'll demonstrate with my blocks. You can also use your pillows. You're just going to place your blocks underneath your knees to relieve any pressure you might feel when you're lying flat on your back in a Shavasana position. So this works well with blocks. You can always slide your bolster underneath or fold your pillow up and place your knees on top of the pillow. Arms out wide. Always remembering that rest is very important after stress, which is what we've been doing this whole practice. So really enjoying these last few moments here. Really taking these moments to surrender and just, again, notice those micro details of sensation. I hope you enjoyed today's practice. But most importantly, I hope you found some relief for your low back. and that you go on to have a wonderful